At the bottom of Copan's Structure 16 lies one of the most important monuments for understanding Mayan kingship. Altar Q is a stone-carved cube with engravings of every subsequent Copan king along the sides. 15 of the 16 represented kings are sitting on their name and date glyphs, but the first and most important king proved harder to decipher. Instead of sitting on his name glyphs, they were embedded in his headdress, and from it, the epigraphers found his name to be Kinich Yax Kukmo. He is depicted passing a scepter onto the last king, Yash Prasad, symbolizing the passing down of power through 16 generations, a recurring theme throughout the whole Mayan Empire. The faceless murals at Palenque are another example of illustrating the passing down of power.
In the same way that presidents and rulers of the modern era had portraits of the previous rulers, the Maya had inscriptions of the previous kings that came before them. Not only did it show the ancestry of the empire, but it proved that they themselves were a good king. Because if your grandfather and father were a great king, that would mean that you are a good king yourself. Also, the faces of the kings aren't here anymore. They were taken down when the Palenque people realized that they were going to collapse and fall, and they were put in the tombs so that raiders and people wouldn't steal them. That way that the honor of them could live on forever.
As in Altar Q and the faceless murals of Palenque, the Mayan kings built monuments, temples, and stelae to assert their power. Since the Maya believed power came from blood lineage, kings would build these structures with the purpose of demonstrating their direct ancestry to previous great Mayan kings, thus proving that they were worthy of the throne. The importance of bequeathing rulership can be seen in the Bonampak murals. In one of the murals, the king, Chan Muat, is depicted presenting the royal heir to the nobility of Bonampak. They wore elegant clothes, jaguar pelts, feathered headdresses, and jade jewelry, indicating the importance of the ceremony. Although the images depicted in these murals likely occurred, it was sometimes necessary for kings to create a new story of power as propaganda in order to legitimize their power. In Yaxchilan, for instance, Shield Jaguars depicted handing the crown down to his son Bird Jaguar, even though Shield Jaguar's death and Bird Jaguar's inauguration were years apart. The same concept appears in Palenque, where Pakal is seen receiving the crown from his mother, despite this never physically happening.
Mayan kings were also considered semi-divine beings capable of communicating with the gods and having control over the world around them. This meant that Mayan people not only looked up to their kings as political leaders, but also as spiritual rulers. Because of the king's tie with the gods, the people expected more than just political rule. They expected every problem to be solved through divine intervention.
In Mayan society, the king also functioned as high priest, carrying the responsibilities to perform astronomical and calendrical rituals, thereby using his proclaimed supernatural powers to bring prosperity to his city-state. Believing that the king was a divine being, the peasants supported his luxurious lifestyle, fed him corn, venison, and precious chocolate, and built his palaces. Because of their semi-divine status, the kings also led the Maya's very important religion in their city-state. Kings led religious ceremonies and bloodletting rituals as tribute to the gods who created them. The Mayan gods were greedy and bloodthirsty towards their people, demanding blood sacrifice as a tribute to their creation, and looked down on them from the upper world. The Mayan bloodletting rituals originates from their creation story, the Popol Vuh. The gods tried to make inhabitants for Earth that would properly worship them. After a few attempts, the gods created humans out of corn and blood. In order to correctly praise the gods, the Maya needed to repay them with their own blood as tribute for their creation. This bloodletting has given them the gruesome reputation they have to this day.